Motherfuckers. Welcome back to SkywayTj, guys, and another video on this channel. Today, we're going to be discussing the entire Friday the 13th franchise and ranking all 12 movies in the series. I finally got done watching all of them, and I wanted to release this on October 31st, but I'm probably late, because that's just me. So, without further ado, we're going to rank all 12 movies, and I'm going to tell you what I liked about each of them, and what I really didn't like about most of them. It's been an interesting time, I'll tell you that. In absolute dead last, we have Jason Goes to Hell. This movie sucks. This was the first movie that happened once New Line took over. Paramount sold the rights to New Line because they were kind of done with Jason. And Jesus fucking Christ, is Jason Goes to Hell bad. They did the age-old thing of making the killer not actually Jason. Jason is possessing people throughout the movie, but it's not Jason in the mask most of the time, and that really blows. You got weird character decisions. You got people like Creighton Duke, he's funny. He's a great side character because he's so weird, but he has some weird, like, really off the wall deliveries where he talks about little girls in pink dresses and donuts.
I'm going to say two words to you, Mr. Duke, and I want you to say the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Okay.
You ready?
Shoot.
Jason Voorhees.
Well, that makes me think of a little girl in a pink dress sticking a hot dog through a donut.
And he breaks people's fingers to give them information. There's so many weird aspects added, like the fucking Necronomicon is in there. The director implied that Jason's a Deadite. Jason goes around transferring his soul during using slug. I don't know. It's such a weird fucking movie. I don't like it at all. Next up, I have Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. So this movie is a lie. It's a damn dirty lie. Jason does not take Manhattan. Jason gets to New York in the last 20 minutes of the movie, and he barely does anything. He chases the two main characters around, but like he ain't taking shit. It's mostly Jason on a boat for the whole movie. And he's just going around doing his thing, killing people on a boat. And the characters are so bad in this one, and there's so many weird decisions. The runtime is god-awful. It's way too long. Like, it feels like it's trying to be a feature-length movie when these Friday the 13th movies need to, like, contain themselves. Like, an hour and a half is, at best, what you should go for. This one's way too damn long. And there's one weird scene at the end of the movie where apparently the New York's system, their sewer system floods with toxic waste every fucking night at midnight. What? There's no shot in any place in the world that would happen. What the fuck? Also, Jason turns into this weird, like, he starts, like, throwing up, and he says mommy a lot during the scene, and then... it turns into his, before he was like, it turns into a little boy again. It's so weird. It's so bad. Ugh, don't watch it. Next up, I have Jason X. I appreciate that they tried something different with this one. Usually it's a death sentence when your main franchise ends up doing the space chapter. Like, if your characters are like, hey, we're going to send our character to space. It's usually a death sentence. But this one, I feel like Jason kind of fits in space. Like, I don't know, it's a weird one. I don't hate this one. It's not my favorite. It has a cool kill where he dunks this bitch's head in the frozen shit and smashes it. That was fun. I like that. Uber Jason is cool. I liked when they put him in that fake Camp Crystal Lake and he started beating the sleeping bags against each other. That was fun. Other than that, it's full of corny characters and a lot of dialogue that screams early 2000s. It's kind of rough to watch, but if you turn your mind off, it's not terrible. After that, I have Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. This one is often referred to as Carrie versus Jason because they have the telekinetic, telepathic, whatever, teenager who fights Jason with her telekinesis powers, kind of like Carrie would do shit. This one isn't terrible. It's kind of boring. The only good parts are the fight between the knockoff Carrie and Jason, and the fact that Kane Hodder is finally in the movies, and he gets his ass kicked in this one. He does a great job. Like, he gets crushed by a whole fucking awning at one point. He falls through some steps. He gets his ass beat in this movie. Appreciate that. A whole fucking house explodes, which is cool to watch. Other than that, you could feel the lack of blood in this one because the MPAA was at their height of saying fuck horror movies and trying to tone shit down. So you could really feel the cuts and the weird edits, and it's just bloodless almost. But you know, you get to watch Jason fight a telepath or telekinetic person, so like it's kind of fun in moments, but for the most part, I don't know. Next up, I have Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. This one is infamously known as the one without Jason Voorhees as the killer, besides the first one when it was his mom. But this one, no Voorhees. Like, it's just this. Spoilers, I guess. It's just this dude named Roy Burns. That's my main complaint with the movie. It's a lot of people's main complaint with the movie. It's whatever. It's fine. It would have been better if they gave us more time, like seeing Roy as a character and then being like, oh, he's the killer. That makes sense. But he's just kind of thrown in there, and he gets like 2 scenes before he's revealed as the killer. It's just kind of weird. It needed more setup. The other thing about this movie is that the director was more concerned about sex scenes than actual dialogue. So there's just a lot of random character moments in there, which are kind of funny. You get a weird song about enchiladas and pooping on a toilet.
Ooh, baby. Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
Hey, baby. Hey, baby.
Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh.
You get Ethel, who just cusses the whole fucking time. You get Reggie the Reckless, who is just a great character. This movie's full of great side characters and funny moments in the Friday the 13th franchise. But you could just tell, like, the director really didn't care about anything except the sex scene, because it has the longest, most gratuitous sex scene in the franchise. And it's just kind of all over the place. But Tommy Jarvis is in it, and he got introduced in the 4th one, but now he's grown up, and he kicks ass. He fucking does, like, judo kicks and shit. He's fucking dope. So this movie has a lot of good, and a lot of weird, and a lot of not Jason. So take your picks. I don't mind it that much. Next up, I have Friday the 13th Part 3. This one is pretty much known as the 3D one. It's also the one where Jason gets his hockey mask. So it's kind of interesting that the killer that we all associate with the franchise didn't get his mask until Part 3. It's kind of cool. This one, the only thing I remember about this one is that he gets his hockey mask and that they were doing new 3D techniques in this movie for new inventions of 3D. So every shot is almost built to do like a 3D shot, like throwing a wallet at a camera, doing a yo-yo, holding up a stick. There are so many shots that are pandering towards 3D that it's so jarring and shit to watch. Also, some of the dialogue's pretty bad. I hate most of the characters. I don't know how this one isn't lower, to be honest, but that shows you how up and down this franchise is. It has some fun moments, some fun kills, and seeing Jason in his mask is pretty fun. But other than that, yeah. Right after that, I have Freddy versus Jason. I actually think the plot line to get these two characters to fight each other is pretty decent. Kind of makes sense. All the kids in Springwood have forgotten about Freddy, so he resurrects Jason from hell to go and fuck up their kids, get them scared, they think it's Freddy, and then Freddy can come and, you know, kill all of them in their dreams again. I think it's pretty cool. The worst part about this movie is the human characters' dialogue is so fucking cringe and bad that it's kind of irritating to watch.
Wait a minute. Freddy died by fire, Jason by water. How can we use that?
So there's that. Jason being afraid of water is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. He's been in water countless fucking times in this franchise. I think that's stupid. But you got to see Robert Englund back as Freddy, and it's a damn shame Kane Hodder didn't get to come back as Jason because he played Jason the most, and most people associate Jason with Kane Hodder. And it's unfortunate that he didn't get to reprise the role. But other than that, the best part about this movie is watching Jason and Freddy kick the shit out of each other. When they're actually fighting, it is so good. The blood and gore is excellent. It's a great time. It's pretty if you could like just watch two horror icons duke it out, it's just so much fun. It's like a fucking wrestling match. I love it. Next up, I have the original Friday the 13th. It might be sacrilegious to put the original this low on the list, but at the end of the day, it's a bit boring. There's a lot of suspense and build up, but there are a lot of scenes that definitely need edited and cut down that the director, Sean S. Cunningham, I think he just let the camera on for too long, or he just didn't really know what he was doing. I appreciate what he did for the franchise and that this became an iconic thing, and we have all these movies, but the original movie is kind of butt. There's no Jason, which is fine. I think Betsy Palmer as Pamela Voorhees being the killer is fun, but she just kind of comes out of nowhere. You know, if we didn't meet her throughout the movie, she just kind of shows up in the last act, and she's like, yeah, I'm killing everyone. it's like, okay, whatever. There's just a lot of scenes that are just dragged out and everything. It does have Tom Savini, who gave us some great gore effects and some great kills. Love that. The Kevin Bacon arrow one is iconic. We love all that. They killed a real snake on set. Don't fuck with that at all. They killed like the handler's pet, which is really fucked up. But yeah, it's a good movie. I just don't like it more than most of them. But I'll still watch it because it's a classic. Up next, I actually have the Reboot from 2009. This movie pretty much takes the first four movies in the Friday the 13th franchise and kind of just melds them all together into like the best hits version. And I think it did a pretty good job. Jason in this movie is scary as hell. He hauls ass. He's pretty much like a survivalist who's been living on his own this whole time without his mom in the forest. And he doesn't like people touching his shit, so he's just kind of trying to protect his area. And those kids get in his way and he has to kill them. You know, it's fun. It has Jared Padalecki, which is cool. It has Danielle Panabaker, who's what thought was the final girl, but then they killed her, which was wild. It's a good time. It's scary, and I'm kind of sad we haven't got any more movies in like that timeline. I know there's a lawsuit going on and everything, but like, I hope when it comes back they get Derek Mears to portray Jason again because I think he did a damn good job. So, I like the reboot. I hope that's not sacrilegious. Next up, I have Friday the 13th Part 2. I think this movie takes everything that was great about Friday the 13th and makes it better. It's edited way better. The dialogue is a bit better. All the characters, like interactions, feel a bit better. And you could tell that this director, I think it was Steve Miner, just did a better job at, you know, making a movie than Sean S. Cunningham. You actually get Jason in this movie, which is pretty cool. Except he is Baghead Jason, who just runs around with like one eye hole cut out of a bag pillowcase. Kind of whack. He's kind of a doofus, but it's fun to see him finally be Jason. You got Muffin in there. We love Muffin. It's a dog. Yeah, and Ginny's the best final girl. She's the one who like puts on the sweater and you know, tricks Jason into like not killing her, which I thought was always fun. Ginny's the best. And you know, you got Paul Holt, best final guy. I don't know. He's out of all the boyfriends of the final girl, he's my favorite. So, yeah, I like part 2. The last two are kind of tied for me because I like them both a lot. But at number 2, I have Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. This is often considered the best Friday movie, and I understand why. Jason is in top form in this one. The actor who portrays him in such a way that he's like real jerky and he's like militant. Really like what they did with Jason in this one. This is when he officially becomes like zombie Jason. The dude who plays Tommy Jarvis in this one kicks all the ass. I like how they kill him at the end by drowning him in the lake. His design is real cool. It has really good kills, and it's just fun. It's a good, scary time. I don't have any complaints about this movie at all. It's just fun, and it actually is scary. And it's the end of the Tommy Jarvis trilogy, and I don't really have anything else to complain about. It's a real good time. But my number one Friday the 13th movie is Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. It's not. This one introduced Tommy Jarvis, who has become one of the best characters in the franchise. He's often considered Jason's arch enemy. It has the Jarvis family. Even all of them are cool. It has the best teens, I think, like the best teen friend group who get slaughtered by Jason, of course. You got Crispin Glover just doing the weirdest dances in this movie. If you haven't seen Crispin Glover's dance moves in this movie, you need to. Cause you can't make it anymore. I know what you're waiting for. I should turn away and walk right out that door because I know. Tom Savini came back to this movie because they were told it was the final chapter and he wanted to kill Jason because he had created Jason, and that was the fun thing, which means you got great practical effects. Jason dies in a great way. The machete gets put in his head and he slides down. It's a gory-ass kill and it's very fun. It's just, out of all the movies, especially the first 4, this one epitomizes what Friday the 13th is a scary-ass killer killing a bunch of horny teens, and this one does the best at that. And when I think of Friday the 13th, I think of that. So this one is my favorite movie in the franchise. I think after this, it kind of like tried new things and went off the rails a bit during certain parts. And this was the last time it was like really, really good besides part 6. So, that's why it's my number 1. Well, guys, that was my ranking of all the Friday the 13th movies. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please drop a like, subscribe for more. The next series I'm going to be doing is the Nightmare on Elm Street series. I really enjoy doing these ranked videos, and it finally gives me a chance to watch all these movies during my backlog. So, Really enjoyed the Friday series. It had a lot of good, a lot of weird, a lot of bad. But I'm glad I watched them all because, you know, Jason's iconic and so is this franchise. So glad I got through it. I hope you guys enjoyed what I just did. I'll see you in the next video. It should be out soon. It's everything I watched in October, which was a fuck ton of shit. So that'll be fun. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.